So, for another horror flick review for Horror Spectacular 2023. This year, compared to previous years, I didn't watch many horror films as I've done in the past. But this year, for some reason, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe with the releases of Renfield and The Last Voyage to the Dementor, I don't know. But I've been watching a lot of vampire flicks, and I happened to come across 2022's The Invitation. And the film stars Natalie Emmanuel, known for her roles in Game of Thrones and Fast and Furious. The movie is inspired by the novel Dracula by one Bram Stoker. And this film follows a young woman who's following her mother's death meets a long-lost family members for the first time, only to discover they're crazy. Originally titled The Bride, the film was produced by Sam Raimi, but directed by Jessica M. Thompson, written by Blair Butler. What do I say about this movie? It's released by Sony Pictures about a year and a half ago now. Well, a year, some days or weeks ago. A year and weeks ago, that sounds right. August 26th. I didn't even hear this movie till this year. I'm guessing Raimi actually exited out due to scheduling conflicts. I wonder why Sam Raimi dropped out because he was trying to make Doctor Strange 2, another terrible ass movie. This movie wasn't scary at all. Like I said, it's a weird rendition of Dracula novel. Spoiler alert, I'm just gonna spoil the movie for you so I can save you guys the pain of watching this. So let me go through the film haphazardly. Got my words mixed up. So Natalie Emmanuel, her character, what is her character's even name in this movie? Evie is a living freelancing for a catering business with her best friend Grace. They talk about their feministic ways and other BS. Evie takes a DNA test, find out she has a distant cousin. I cannot talk right now, I'm so sorry on this review. She finds out she has a distant cousin in England named Oliver Alexander. She meets Oliver, who tells her the scandal of her great-grandmother. I'm not even pronouncing that. I'm just going to call her Emma, who had a secret child with a black man. He invites her to an up-and-coming family wedding in England. She arrives at the new Fairfax Abbey, where she meets the Lord of the Manor, Walter Deville, and Mrs. Swift, a longtime maid at the estate, where she will be important later on. She meets the rest of the family, the maids in honor, and she meets a woman named Lucy and another tall but sexy lady named Victoria. You can probably guess who those two are. But anyways, things seem alright for Evie, but things don't seem as they appear. Evie sees ghosts, particularly her great-grandmother's ghost, hanging herself in the staircase. The maids start disappearing, attacked by whatever, and Evie, of course, sees White Zaddy as a romantic partner. Wait a minute. Ain't he getting married? I forgot who was even getting married in this movie. I thought he was getting married. Maybe it was somebody else getting married. But anyways, it's not important. This movie's everywhere. Moving on. So, I guess Mr. DeVille was researching her before her arrival. She confronts him, threatening to leave. But the white daddy, or I should say the white zaddy, puts his power on the mixed woman, and they moving on. Things continue to get more strange for Evie. She expects to finally meet the bride and groom, but no! The bride and groom is Mr. DeVille, her white daddy, or zaddy, and her. They're going to be married. And guess who the butler is, really? We find out the butler is Renfield. This is when I started to realize, because I did not know it. I just happened to see this movie on Netflix. Somebody said you should go watch it, since you like watching vampires stuff. I said I only like watching vampires to a point. But anyways, things start getting very questionable for me as the viewer. Anyways, this is when everything goes downhill for Evie. Renfield slits the maid's throat, pours blood into a bowl. We find out that DeVille, Lucy, and Victoria are all vampires drinking the blood. And we find out that, I guess, Evie's ancestors, the Alexanders, are one of the three families for centuries, have offered one other woman to become DeVille's wife in exchange for protection and wealth. And I guess Evie's great-grandmother was supposed to be a bride of DeVille. And we realized that DeVille is Dracula, in a way. But Evie's great-grandmother says, hell no, she ain't gonna become a bride to you. And, she killed herself. She killed herself because she didn't want to be part of their bloodlust. So, anyways, I guess the Alexander family had a trouble finding a female member until they found Evie. So, okay, make a long story short, because the ending of this movie gets real wonky. Keep moving on. We see more Dracula characters coming up from the book. Miss Swift, the butler, or the maid, the head maid, tries to save Evie from these crazy vampires, but she is killed by Dracula's familiar, or Dracula's assistant, Renfield. I'm gonna get to Renfield later on in a different video, because I never did a review of that dumbass movie. But anyways, Evie tries to escape. She finds an elderly couple, and the elderly couple reveals themselves to be Jonathan and Meta Harker, the older version, but she is knocked unconscious, as now they are minions for Dracula. Evie, or what is her name in, I'm not even gonna say her name in Fast and Furious, but Evie wakes up with one of the maids. And actually, this is when Evie actually found out that DeVille is actually Dracula, because he mentions him being the son of the dragon. There's only one son of the dragon here, and it ain't this guy. Luke Evans will mop the floor with this guy. But anyways, Evie then watches DeVille bite into the maid's leg. She falls unconscious, wakes up, whatever, drinking blood. Evie is now in a wedding dress, walking down the aisle to marry Dracula, exchanging vows. She has to bite Dracula's arm, consuming his blood. She changes to a vampire. Oh, whoopee woo. In her last-ditch effort to escape this craziness, she sets the wedding chapel on fire, stabs Dracula in the heart, which ages him. I guess that was aging him. She tries to flee, but the other bride, Victoria, tries to beat up on Evie. Lucy, the kinder one, ends up trying to help Evie. Two vampires fight each other. Lucy sacrifices herself by impaling herself and Victoria on a spear, killing them both, turning to ashes, typical vampire way. Evie tries to escape again, but she's attacked by Renfield. They two exchange words, yada yada yada. Evie ends up killing Renfield, stabbing him in the chest. Evie tries to escape again, but now she has a one-on-one with Dracula. But she burns Dracula in the flames because his house is actually burning at the same time because it lit on fire somehow, some way. And now, since Dracula is dead, she does no longer have the powers of a vampire. And she goes back to her normal self, escaping the manor as the manor goes down in flames. And now Evie teams up with her feminist friend Grace. They track down Oliver, the dude from the beginning of the movie, who invites her to the House of Vampires. And they're about to go in for the kill, for revenge. So, and Evie at the end of this movie, you know how Natalie Emmanuel, if you know her, seen her movie, she has the curly hair and all this. Now at the end of this movie, she has that whole feminist bob cut, whatever, at the end of her head. If you've seen Fast X, that's what she looks like in Fast X. I don't know, I'm just pointing that out there. I guess this is the intro to Fast X. I guess this is what she's been doing between stories of Fast 9 and Fast X. But anyway, this movie, yeah, it's predictable. They try to set up as one of these gothic, romance horror type films, but it just falls flat. I hate romance movies. I like action movies. I like when vampires are in movies, some movies, when it's done right. But this movie is probably one of the worst Dracula back movies in the last 13 years or so. Because now, how many movies of Dracula they come out so far in the last couple of years? Big time ones. Because now they had this film, they had this movie, they had Renfield, they had The Dementor, they had Dracula Untold. And to some, all of those may seem subpar. I think the best one out of all of those movies is Dracula Untold. And some people don't like Dracula Untold because they think it was too superheroish. But out of all of these movies, I say it's the best. This movie deserves a D. The concept is alright, but it's just... you can tell by my tone, it just became wonky. Like I said earlier, predictable. Somewhat boring because I was barely paying attention at some parts. Just the rudimentary, the customary, stereotypical how these movies end. Let's just say that. Nice looking women though in this film. I ain't gonna lie. But that's it. I give this movie a D. And this concludes another review of 2023 Horror Spectacular. As you can tell by my tone, I was not excited to make this. But I had to put it out there. This movie sucks. Signing off. Are you getting tired of Marvel and DC, Star Wars, or even the rest of Hollywood's lame entertainment? Well, hop over to Franchise Universe, the channel, where we got a new breed of entertainment. Forget Hollywood, who continues to keep pushing the same old agenda on politics and retreads. We just began over here with the Asa, God of Power. We released 2 episodes. The latest episode, Asa, the God of Power, Episode 2, Dreams from Arcadia. With the Franchise Universe, we hope to do things differently. We're open to the viewer, open to suggestions, not humbugging the viewer or customers like Hollywood crackheads like to do. No, we're open, very open, and open to expansion as well. So jump over to the Franchise Universe, subscribe, and make sure you turn on those notifications for future updates and videos. And make sure to view Asa, the God of Power, Episode 2, and be on the lookout for the adventures of Franchise Universe Volume 1, coming soon to you.